Hello, and welcome to Echoes of the Past. I'm Nate, and this podcast is part of my summative assessment for my history class with Professor Mooney. A little about me. I'm a history major, but believe it or not, I've never taken an American history class in my adult life, until now. This class has come at a crucial time in my life. Over the years, my understanding of history and human nature has evolved, and this course has been a key piece of that ongoing journey. Professor Mooney's ability to present history with nuance and depth has been invaluable, but it's the timing that really resonated. It's as if this class caught me right when I was ready to see history as more than just a series of events, ready to truly connect with the humanity in these stories. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that we can't judge historical figures and events solely through the lens of our time. It's important to resonate with the people in these stories. Not just the heroes, but also those we see as villains, like Hitler. When we alienate figures like him as something other than human, we lose the opportunity to learn from their mistakes and understand how societies can fall into those patterns. Recognizing their humanity doesn't excuse their actions. It helps us understand and prevent history from repeating itself. This perspective has made U.S. history far more interesting and inspiring than I ever expected. And today I want to focus on one topic that has fascinated me the most: America's involvement in World War I. So let's explore the complexities, contradictions, and decisions that shaped the pivotal moment in history. Over the years, I've come to view history as a dynamic and evolving narrative, a mix of human decisions, moral dilemmas, and unintended consequences. What this class has done is add depth to that perspective. Through our readings, discussions, etc., I've been able to explore the contradictions in American ideals, like how the U.S. promoted democracy abroad during World War I while facing racial inequality and curtailing civil liberties at home. This exploration has reinforced my belief that history isn't just about what happened, it's about why it happened and what it tells us about human nature. Studying America's involvement in World War I through this lens has been transformative, revealing the moral gray areas and difficult choices that shape the country's trajectory. Our class covered the early years of World War I when the U.S. maintained neutrality under President Woodrow Wilson. This wasn't just a policy, it was a reflection of the American public's reluctance to get involved in what was seen as a European conflict. But as we discussed, neutrality was never truly neutral. America has had strong economic ties to the Allies, and events like German U-boat attacks and the sinking of the Lusitania, I forget how to pronounce that, made neutrality increasingly difficult. The turning point came in 1917 when the Zimmermann telegram, a secret message from Germany proposing Mexico U.S. territory if it joined the war on Germany's side, combined with renewed submarine warfare. Wilson saw no choice but to ask Congress to declare war. What I found most interesting was how this moment reflected deeper debates about America's role in the world. Should we focus inward or step onto the global stage? These debates, as our class discussions revealed, were anything but clear-cut. One of the most impactful parts of this course was learning about the home front during World War I. We explored how the war united Americans through propaganda campaigns, encouraging enlistment, and the purchase of Liberty bonds. But we also discussed the darker side, like the espionage and sedition acts, which suppressed dissent and challenged the idea of free speech. This tension between national security and civil liberties is something I hadn't thought deeply about before this class, but it's a recurring theme in American history. Another aspect we covered was the social changes brought by the war. Women took on new roles in the workforce, and the Great Migration saw African Americans moving north and for industrial jobs, which what stuck with me was how even during times of crisis, progress and setbacks can coexist. A lesson that feels especially relevant today. When American troops arrived in Europe, they played a decisive role in ending the war. Battles like Belleau Wood and Meuse Argonne offensive demonstrated the strength of American forces and boosted Allied morale. But as we discussed in class, the human cost of these victories was staggering. The innovations of World War I, tanks, airplanes, chemical weapons, changed how wars were fought, but came at a devastating price. This class taught me to see that these battles, not just not just as a military events, but as deeply human experience. The decisions made during this time weren't just about strategy. They were about survival, resilience, and the pursuit of something greater. It's a reminder that history is never just about outcomes, it's about the people who lived it. After the war ended, President Wilson presented his vision for peace through the 14 points and the League of Nations. But as we learned, the U.S. Senate rejected the Treaty of Versailles, signaling a return to isolationism. This decision reflected a deeper uncertainty about America's role in the world, a theme that still resonates in modern politics. What I've taken away from this class and from studying World War I is that history is full of contradictions. It's not just about heroes and villains, it's about people, recognizing the humanity in these stories, even the difficult ones. Helps us understand and avoid the mistakes societies before us have made. America's involvement in World War I is just one chapter in a larger story, but it's a chapter that has deeply impacted how I view history. This class has helped me add depth and nuance to my perspective, reinforcing my belief that history is never static. It's an ongoing conversation about who we are and where we're going. Thank you for listening to Echoes of the Past. I hope this episode has given you a glimpse into how studying this period has reshaped my understanding of American history and deepened my appreciation for the decisions and consequences that continue to shape our world. Until next time, I'm Nate, and thank you for joining me.